Good morning. My name is Shanae. I have been at this church since I was 4 years old, going on 27 years of my life now. And I see many familiar faces, but I'm also seeing a lot of faces I don't know, which is a wonderful thing. So I'm going to introduce myself and then our youth, and then I'm going to turn the floor over to them so they can share with you today. So I am our youth minister here at Good Samaritan. I have been in this role for 9 years now, which is wild to believe. And so this summer, one of the jobs that I have is to lead the mission trip. And we went to Chicago. We took 11 youth and 5 adults and spent a week wandering all over the city and doing all kinds of service projects and worship and cultural experiences. And so I'm going to invite them up one by one to share just a few reflections from that time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Liz Conley. I'm 17. I'm a junior attending Clayton Bradley Academy in Alcoa. I've been a part of this church for 5 years now. And during our Chicago trips, I loved the walking around and sightseeing. We went to see the Cloud Gate, which is more commonly known as the Bean. We went and saw the amphitheater and the botanical gardens, and even the Chicago Zoo, where we got to see the newborn lion cubs. Some of the animals we saw were monkeys and giraffes. We also got to go to different kinds of playgrounds, which was really nice because, it just kind of connects with our inner child. The service work we did was Bernie's book drive, where we scanned books and sorted them into grade levels, and there were even some Spanish books. We did Share Our Spare, which we sorted diapers and we made orders to those in need who couldn't probably afford it. And then we also did Cornerstone Community Outreach, where we got to take bags of shoes, clothes, all that kind of stuff, and we brought them up the stairs, where we finished in 25 minutes, whereas the guy working there probably would have had to take a few days to get it up there. We also sorted clothes and had a bunch of fun. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hannah. So I attended this mission trip as one of the adults. But it was a very good experience for me too. I was born and raised in Japan, so for me it was like an experience coming to America and like learning all these things. And I really envy how the kids were able to have all these opportunities and learn all these things about Chicago and the history and everything. So yeah, I personally liked the reflection session they had every night, and so they would talk about what they felt, what they learned that day, and all these conversations that they had really gave me perspective of what they learned from that experience. And so it was a very great experience. I really am grateful that I was able to be a part of this, and thank you so much for Shanae for organizing everything. So yeah, thank you.
Hello, I'm Virginia Fields. I am in 8th grade at Webb School of Knoxville, and I have been to this church my whole life. So going to Chicago for a mission trip was an absolutely fantastic opportunity and experience for our youth group. There were so many wonderful experiences we had that took place all throughout the week, and so many sights to see, which within the first day of being in the city, after a long journey, we maybe saw one of them because we were on the highway at rush hour. So, but I kid. But going to Lincoln Park, the Chicago Zoo, Boys Town, and Millennium Park to see the fountains and Cloud Gate was also wonderful. And I haven't even started on all the wonderful work we did for a myriad of different organizations. We helped at a free thrift store that provides clothes for the homeless, a diaper and feminine care product that helps take the pressure off of what to cut when you can't afford to pay for all food, medication, and housing, with that as an addition. And we also did recreational work, like going to Chicago Pride or the Chicago Juneteenth Festival at an African American Art and History Museum, which was absolutely astonishing. But one of the organizations we did that was my favorite service project that we focused on was Bernie's Book Bank. It's an organization that donates books to children to spread literacy to everyone. They had found that 2 out of 3 children lack books, and with over 24 million books donated, they sure are making a difference. Our youth group was not the only group volunteering at that time. There were a lot of people who had volunteered regularly before. It was so heartwarming to see so many people help out in the time of their day. They had to sort books by grade level and usability while they played music. And they played at least 10 ABBA songs within 1 hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was, and it was really fun. Another thing that stood out to me was that when we would scan the books, mostly it would tell you to sort where to sort it due to its reading level. But sometimes it would tell you that they do not use that book. And which for some were shocking. As an example, the first Harry Potter book they did not use. But when we thought about it, it made sense. The fact that Bernie's Book Bank wanted to spread literacy among every child makes you need to consider every child's circumstance. So not using Harry Potter when it talks about his parents dying makes sense. And not using a book about a video game that includes violence, particularly gun violence, makes sense. And I think that that is some of the most caring and intelligent detail put into a charity organization that is meant to spread reading to everyone. Reading is for everyone. Our time that we spent at Bernie's Book Bank was so enjoyable and important, and I believe the same can be said for our whole time in Chicago. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken. Even though most of the 9-hour trip was just Indiana, which I now know is literally just beige grass, corn, and oh look, 50 wind turbines. Thank you so much for listening.
I think our kids said it all, and that was just 3 voices from a group much larger. We have a few others here today who also attended the trip. My ask of you all is that you find our teenagers and ask them about these experiences, whether it's after church today or throughout the year. Our youth get up in front of the church every so often, Youth Sunday, Mission Trip Sundays, but we're here all year, and we're doing these kinds of things in our local community and in Tennessee and around the world. And so I really would ask you to come and get to know these awesome young people. Ask them about the ABBA songs that we're playing, or the playgrounds we visited, or the work that we did, because they have really great opinions and ideas, and they have learned a lot. Like Hannah said, those reflections in the evening, listening to people processing all of these experiences we were having is huge, right? And these are kids who are 12 to 17. And so take some time to ask them about the trip. And we are always asking for your money, right? Anytime you hear the youth, it almost always comes with a fundraiser. And that is great, but I think more importantly than that in our church, the thing that matters is relationships. I said I've been at this church since I was 4. It's the relationships that have kept me here, right? That's really what did it. This youth program and this church formed me, and now I'm still here. And I would really encourage you to get to know our youngest members of our church and hear what experiences they've had and what ones they want to have in the future. We're already planning next summer's mission trip. You are welcome to join us as a chaperone. Like Hannah said, it's a really neat, maybe slightly exhausting experience for you. So thank you for listening to us this morning.
Thank you, Sinead, Hannah, Liz, and Virginia. Thank you for sharing about that. Appreciate that. Thank you to all of you who helped make that trip possible. And other trips, the opportunity for them to travel and learn about somewhere different, to experience that, but mostly to go and make a difference, and all of that helps form them as good Samaritans, and hopefully will make a difference not only now but in their lives. So thank you all for supporting them.